I keep warning you all that everything around our financial economy is changing. The global monetary system as we know it is on the brink of a massive reset that is going to change it and ultimately shake everything up that we know. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's start off with this post here from Gold Telegraph, which is breaking news. Ghana has launched a new gold coin to help it manage money market liquidity and boost savings. Boom, another one. The world is rushing to gold. The coin made from gold mined in Africa's biggest producer of the metal has been refined to 99.99% purity. And you know what's insane about this is if we think about the central bankers, they are pushing for CBDCs at a time where they are accumulating so much gold at historical levels. All right, so not only are they accumulating massive amounts of gold, they are researching and trying to push for a CBDC. So the big question is, all right, well, what does a CBDC have to do with gold? Well, we know that CBDCs could be backed and pegged to gold because they are now launching these new coins that are gold backed essentially. And by the way, these might be physical right now, but they want to do this on DLT. They want to do this on chain with blockchain technology. This has always been the goal. And by the way, Zimbabwe actually has a gold backed currency as well. Back in April, they pushed this. Now, since then, Zimbabwe has absolutely killed this currency because just recently, Zimbabwe allows currency to slump over 40%, hikes policy rate. So they devalued it by 40%. And this was only in like 5 months, 6 months, which is crazy to me. But this is what every single area around the world is pushing for, is gold-backed currencies. And one of the major group, or I should say blocks, is Brics. Brics is pushing heavily for gold-backed currencies. Back in May of 2023, we saw this big announcement, which was the Brics nations are intensifying their efforts towards de-dollarization, which means step one, utilize their local currencies for settling cross-border trade. Step two, announce a new reserve currency potentially backed by hard assets. Step three, expand. Saudi Arabia is looking to join the Brics in addition to the Brics Bank as one example. Saudi Arabia is a global heavyweight in energy markets. Now, it's still unclear if the petrodollar is still active or not. There has been zero announcements around Saudi Arabia re-upping that agreement. There's been a lot of speculation on if Saudi Arabia is going to announce that they're working with the Brics and joining the Brics because they have been meeting a lot with the leaders around some of the Brics nations. So it is still a big question, but speculation has been heating up in recent days and weeks. But also, over here we have Russia confirms that they are launching a Brics currency backed by gold. It will be on the agenda at the Brics South Africa meeting in August. Many other countries have applied to join Brics. De-dollarization is accelerating. Now, if you guys do remember this is from last summer. Now, I'm going to build upon this and talk to you guys about how this is moving today because they are still in the process of launching this currency. It is still in the plan, but check this out.
The Brics Group is set to introduce a new currency backed by gold, in contrast to the credit-backed US dollar, with countries lining up to join the growing initiative.
The Brics countries are planning to introduce a new trading currency which will be backed by gold. More and more countries recently expressed desire to join Brics.
The decision comes a month ahead of scheduled Alliance Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa. 41 countries have since shown their interest in Brics membership and its new currency implementation. Russia's foreign ministry has stated that if African states show enthusiasm, the group's expansion may also be on a Russia-Africa summit's agenda in the end of July. As of now, the Brics group remains comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Former statistician general of South Africa, Pali Lehola, says the gold-backed currency will facilitate the advancement of developing countries.
Avoiding using the gold standard, we have gone for almost 45 years now, since 1980 when this was dropped. And we have seen the consequences, particularly of this to the developing countries, when the dollar was adopted as a standard and gold not as such. Yet, against that, there's been accumulation of gold in the developing world. South Africa had a much stronger currency when the gold standard was still in force. By going the gold standard by many countries, that many African countries, of course, have, this will be of great benefit to strengthening the currency, the single currency that is backed by gold. It will facilitate development because, after all, currency is the quantity of material things that societies have. If you use another currency based on material wealth or material things you don't have, it means that you are at the mercy of that country, and and they will charge commissions and the like.
Now, this was last summer. Now, if we update it to now, we know that they still have this planned. Brics currency, 40% could be tied to gold, 60% in local currencies. Guys, gold is at all-time highs. The reason why gold is at all-time highs is because central banks have been heavily accumulating gold. We still hear that Brics wants to tie their currency to gold, at least 40% of it pegged back to gold, but also local currencies. Nothing tied back to the US dollar. And even over here, we have Brics reveals key details about a new payment system. If we go back over here, we know that they are planning this as well. This is a new payment system built out on blockchain technology. We know that they want to utilize crypto. They have been very vocal about that. And we actually have here that there are rumors that the project could officially go live during next month's annual summit. The 2024 iteration of the event should be centered on the block's de-dollarization efforts. Additionally, there is likely to be talk of continued expansion for the block after it increased its member count to 9 countries in 2023. And even down here, they have publicly announced their payment system. It offers up new details as well. And within this, they just really want to move away from SWIFT. They want to, ditch the dollar, and they want to have their own independent payment system because they are done with the sanctions. They want to avoid sanctions, and this is the best way to do so. And we have, as part of cooperation with Brics countries, we're working to create create our own payment and settlement system. Putin noted it will allow alliance nations to create conditions for the effective and independent servicing of all foreign trade. We also have, he noted, Brics partners are extremely interested in the transition to national currencies over the US dollar. The developing Brics Pay project should have a massive impact on that endeavor. Its presence would make international trade settlements in local currencies between Brics nations easier than ever. And I do think that this is going to be a very significant meeting. Typically, what we hear from these summits is news like we saw back in last summer. So I am definitely anticipating this summit. I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be listening closely, and obviously I will update you guys. But also over here, we have Russian President Putin confirms Brics is developing its own independent payment system. Brics is working on our own independent payment system, free from political pressure, abuse, and external interference. Check it out.
Including within Brics, we're working on shaping an independent payment system free from political pressure, abuse, and external sanctional interference. In this regard, I'd like to remind you that this year, Brics was joined by new participants, that is, Saudi Arabia, Iran, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and Ethiopia. With this, the share of our association in global GDP has reached 36%, and the population of the planet has reached 45%. And Brics has tremendous potential for joining of new participants, and such drive of stakeholders from different continents can only be welcomed by us, and will support it, including.
And I do like that this video actually mentions the fact that, yeah, their GDP has been growing substantially. In fact, it's outpacing the G7. And the GDP growth this year alone has been very significant for all Brics nations. They have been outpacing all G7 nations, which is why we are starting to see power and dominance usurped greatly from the US, from the G7 nations as well. So we do need to pay attention to what Brics are doing, because it is very important. Now, also, at the same exact time that we are hearing all of these, announcements from Brics, ECB President Christine Lagarde, DLT can offer real benefits to our financial systems. Check this out.
Another key enabler of modern finance is encryption technology. Without encryption technology, there would be no online banking and no electronic payments. But encryption has not only aided the digitalization of traditional finance, it has also facilitated the rise of new asset class and a parallel financial system: crypto assets and decentralized finance. The problems with crypto assets are many, well documented, and not always well addressed, from weak fundamentals to questionable governance and inefficient validation methods. But the encryption technology on which crypto assets are based has so far proven robust. And DLT can offer real benefits to our financial systems through the streamlining of processes and the proper identification.
And there you have it. The ECB literally confirming that, yes, DLT can offer real benefits to our financial systems. This has always been their plan. The central bankers have been accumulating massive amounts of gold. They've been trying to push CBDCs. And how do you think that they issue out CBDCs? It's all on distributed ledger technology. And also, this comes at a time where the president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, is warning that the world economy faces pressures similar to those of the 1920s. Central banks are in a tiny box. They have done it to themselves. Currencies around the world are now rapidly getting debased versus gold. The thesis is playing out. Debt bubble. From 3 years ago, all you have to do is look to recognize patterns to see where things could possibly go in the future. And even back here, this was talking about the 1930s, led to a global debt crisis. Again, we are at that point in time all over again. The pattern is still clear. Endless printing of money. We're cutting rates, which means we're going to print even more money. Devaluations of currencies still happening. Even gold-backed currencies are being devalued. This is because of terrible fiscal policy. And if we think about this, where is this leading us? It is leading us into a massive reset. A reset that will push us into a digital financial system. This is what they actually want. We have over here the Russian finance minister says the Brics nations are considering plans to incorporate digital financial assets underpinned by tangible assets into their financial system, with gold-backed stablecoins as prime examples. Gold will play a major role in the monetary reset. This has been in the works for many years. And yes, this is the global monetary reset. Stablecoins, remember what stablecoins are. They are literally CBDCs, just a completely different name for them. A central bank digital currency is a stablecoin issued out by the government. A stablecoin is a stablecoin that is issued out by a private, company. So if we're thinking about the Brics nations pushing for a gold-backed stablecoin, this is basically a gold-backed CBDC. And this is exactly how the monetary reset will look. That's why every single nation is pushing for CBDCs. 98% of central banks are now on board with CBDCs. The BIS, the World Bank, the IMF, the World Economic Forum, they're all pushing for a CBDC and digital financial system. The BIS literally worded it the Finternet. So if we think about what's actually happening here, we are already in the reset. We're in the implosion phase of the reset, where they're imploding the traditional system so that they can finally reset it into the digital age of finance. Again, I always say, collapse the old, usher in the new. That's their motto. That's what they are doing right now. That's their plan of action. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.